Hey everybody, I'm here in Tampa. Hurricane Milton blew through here last Wednesday. I'm back home now. Power is back on. Things are undamaged. There's a little bit of junk in the yard that needs to be dealt with, but on the bright side for me, the yard was pretty much a mess before I left anyway. So it's the most minimal of stuff to deal with, and I'm really fortunate. And a lot of people around me are dealing with a whole lot more. I'm a bit exhausted. I'm putting off doing some of the stuff I still need to do. Like I've emptied out all the stuff that was in the refrigerator and freezer when the power was off for a handful of days. I've got to wipe that down, clean it up, do some things like that. But one way back into things, at least I'm going to try, is do a little bit of meditation first. And I'm also was thinking about a passage from the Daodejing. And so I'm going to read you a couple versions of it, and then we'll do a little bit of a version of Microcosmic Orbit meditation. So this is from the Daodejing. This is P.J. Ivanhoe's translation. I'm going to read for you first. I'm going to read for you a little bit from chapter 23 of the DDJ, the Daodejing. So this is P.J. Ivanhoe's translation. To be sparing with words is what comes naturally. And so a blustery wind does not last all morning. A heavy downpour does not last all day. Who produces these? Heaven and earth. If not even heaven and earth can keep things going for a long time, how much less can human beings? This is why one should follow the way in all that one does. And then it goes on a little bit, but I'm going to just read that part. I'll read it again. P.J. Ivanhoe's version. To be sparing with words is what comes naturally. And so a blustery wind does not last all morning. A heavy downpour does not last all day, although it did with Milton, but was understood. Who produces these? Heaven and earth. That's in the Chinese. Tian and Di. Tian, heaven above, the sky above, pure yang. Di, the earth below, the pure yin. Heaven above, Tian, or in the I Ching, it's Qian. And earth below, if you're thinking in terms of the Daodejing, it says Di, and in the I Ching, it's Kun, the pure yang trigram or hexagram. If not even Tian and Di, heaven and earth can keep things going for a long time, how much less can human beings? This is why one should follow the way, Tao, in all that one does. And it goes on. And you say, Steve, I like more, and I got more for you. This is the same passage, translated a little bit differently from D.C. Lao's version. This is the version of the book I picked up way back on September 11th as I was hearing the news and just wanted something to ground me. I picked up and read a little bit from this book. Anyway, this is D.C. Lao, chapter 23. To use words but rarely is to be natural. Hence, a gusty wind cannot last all morning, and a sudden downpour cannot last all day. Who is it that produces these? Heaven and earth. If even heaven and earth cannot go on forever, much less can man. That is why one follows the way. That's D.C. Lao. I'm going to give you one more. This is Red Pine, very different translation. Red Pine. Here's his version. This is just the first half or so of chapter 23 we're reading. So Red Pine says, whispered words are natural. A gale doesn't last all morning. A squall doesn't last all day. Who creates these? Heaven and earth. If heaven and earth can't make things last, how much less can humankind? Thus, in whatever you do, when you follow the way, be one with the way. I'm going to keep reading this one here in Red Pine's version. When you succeed, be one with success. When you fail, be one with failure. Be one with success, for the way succeeds too. Be one with failure, for the way fails too. Red Pine's English is poetic in different ways than what the rest of the chapter was for P.J. Ivanhoe and D.C. Lao's version. But that's okay. We can handle it. All right, so let's do a little bit of practice. So find yourself in a place to take a seat. I'm sitting on a stool on my back porch. You can do it on the edge of a chair. You can do it cross-legged on the floor. You can do it wherever, at the edge of a bed, something wilder than that. For this one, close your eyes. Always the option to keep the eyes open if you prefer. Just notice the parts of your body touching closest to the earth. And if it's different, the parts of your body that are touching whatever it is you're sitting on right now. Notice the breathing. Maybe imagine that a thin string or filament is pulling upward on the crown point of the head to elongate the spine. If you can breathe comfortably through your nose, then have the mouth closed and the tongue touching the roof of your mouth. And to begin with, as you breathe in, just imagine that somehow the breath is filling inside the body from your perineum, or the meeting point of yin, acupuncture point between the legs. And it fills through the inside of the body all the way up to the crown point of your head. And as you breathe out, just imagine like a wave, the breath somehow inside the body just drifts downward, like a wave from the crown point of the head on the inside all the way down to the perineum. And stay with that as you breathe in. Just imagine the breath somehow filling inside the body from your perineum, with the Huiyin point, the meeting point of yin, between the legs, all the way up through the body, all the way up very gently, touching the crown point of your head. And as you breathe out, it recedes like a wave falling through the body from the crown point of the head down past the throat and the heart and the abdomen down to the perineum. Stay with that at your own pace, breathing in, maybe watching it as if you can see inside your body the wave rising up through the body to the crown point of the head. Breathing out at your own pace, it drifts downward, back down to the meeting point of yin at the perineum. Noises and distractions, just smile at them, breathing in, and the wave rises up through the body. And breathing out, and it releases down. It's a bit like Dirgha-Pranayama, or the long three-part breath in yoga practices. But here, just breathing in smoothly from the perineum up through the body to the crown point of the head. And then breathing out, releasing it down through the center. A few more times like that. Tongue very gently up to the roof of the mouth. Stay with it. If the mind wanders, that's fine. Just come on back when you notice. Now we're going to modify it just a little bit. So as you breathe in, that wave rises, but it rises now toward the back of the inside of your body, rising up along the inside of the spine, up the back of the head to the crown point of the head. And as you breathe out, that wave cascades down just inside the front of the body, past the inside of the sternum, down along past the navel, and down, back down to the perineum. It curls under the bottom of the body. And breathing in, it rises up past the tailbone and the sacrum, up along the back, up over the top of the back of the head, following it with the eyes. And breathe out, it passes down past the throat and the heart, along the front of the body and the navel, back down below to the meeting point of yin at the perineum. So follow the pace of your breath, breathing in like this wave rising up at the surface of the inside of the body, up the back, over the top of the head, beginning to cascade down the face. And as you breathe out from the lower palate, it drifts down past the throat and heart, solar plexus and navel, the sexual center, back down to the meeting point of yin at the perineum. Stay with that a bit, following with the eyes, breathing it in, up the inside surface of the back of your body. At your own pace, breathing it out, it drifts down the inside surface of the front of the body. And maybe you can see this as if you can see it in the body in your imagination or just with visualization if that's different. Maybe you can feel it like a wave really rising up the inside of the back of the body and drifting down the inside of the front. Or maybe it's more like just abstract intention. And whatever it is just as it should be. It is what it is. Just breathing it in, up the back a few more times on the in-breath. Breathing it out, down the front a few more times on the out-breath. Stay with it a moment longer. And then when you're ready, then the next time it comes down the front, imagine the wave as it passes below your solar plexus, it just somehow enters into the space behind your navel, filling what we call the dantian or the cinnabar field or the elixir field, the space between the navel and the mingmen, the point on the spine directly opposite the navel. And you might now see the wave somehow becoming like a ball of light. Or maybe it's just like a wave, just somehow sitting there, whatever that would be. And breathe in and let your abdomen expand as you breathe in. And breathe out, let the abdomen drift back gently toward the spine as you breathe out a few times. And then when you're ready, you can let that imagery go. If your eyes are closed, you can open the eyes, you can look around and notice what things look like, what things feel like. If need be, pretend that nothing happened and go about your day. And whatever you're dealing with right now, may things go as easily for you as they can. Thanks, everybody.